Hey everybody! So I wanted to do a quick demonstration of how I apply Color Street to an artificial nail and then how I actually apply the nail to my finger with the adhesive strips that I bought on Amazon. I'm going to show you the removal process. I currently have strobe lights with a few spot-on accents for my oldest son's baseball team. They are the Jaguars, so I don't really want to take these off yet. He has a game tonight and he has a game Saturday, so I'm planning to keep these on. I applied these Tuesday of this week, and I started loosening one just so I could show you how to remove it, and then I'm just going to reapply this same nail. So what I start to do is I kind of just start moving the nail back and forth a little bit. You see how it has some give and it's separating from my cuticle there. And then when I feel like it's actually ready, I'll kind of start to peel up one edge. I always be extremely careful because these nails are very thin, and so they will kind of crease if you pinch them just right. So once I feel like I've gotten it loose enough that I can take an edge, I'll just go under the edge with my fingernail and then literally just slowly peel it away. I'm not going hard, I'm not going fast. And sometimes you can peel it perfectly to where the adhesive comes off on your nail and not the artificial nail. And that was a perfect pull. So this nail is completely intact with no adhesive left. So basically this one will go straight into my box. There's no adhesive left. It's all on my finger. So now if it's left on my finger, I literally can just roll it right off my fingernail and it pulls right up. So I have, this nail was kind of cut a little bit before I put the fake nail on. So I can't really zoom in very well with the GoPro, but there's really no damage to my nail. This is literally what my nail looked like when I put these on. And so now if I want to reapply, I'm going to file the tip of my nail off camera here for just a second. Alright, so now that I want to reapply, I'm going to take my adhesive strip, and it's the Ivtor or Ivitor. I'm not sure exactly how that's supposed to be pronounced, but this is the adhesive that I used. Get it from Amazon. I just take some cuticle scissors if I can get those out of there. And I use that to actually cut the adhesive to the correct size for my nail. So I'm going to use these little strips here. I'm going to use this one. I place it close to my cuticle, but not quite all the way to the cuticle. And then peel the top layer off. And if my nails are good length, I will always take another strip around the size. So I may just use this pinky nail here, and I'll put it at the tip of my nail to make sure that my whole nail is covered. And then again, peel that off very gently so that that excess is hanging over, and that's where my cuticle scissors come into play. And I'll cut the excess of the adhesive off my nail, and then I'll kind of use the scissors if I need to like pat it down in any places so that I'm not touching it and taking away the tackiness. So then I take the nail, which again I'm reapplying the one I just removed. I'm going to put it underneath my cuticle just a little bit, not much, not hurting myself. Get it placed where I like it, and then press it on. And so pressing for about 5 to 10 seconds, just depends. And now I have my full set of nails again. So it looks fairly natural. There's not, you know, it's not hanging over my cuticle or on top of my nail. And that's how I apply them. And then again, like I said, I just kind of slowly start moving the nail back and forth to loosen it when I get ready to take those off. And slow to peel, that's the key. This one was an absolute lucky one. There was no adhesive left on the nail. If there was, just like I rolled it off of my fingernail, I would kind of roll it down the artificial nail until there was no adhesive left on the nail. Now, quickly, I want to show you the process I would use to apply the color streak to the artificial nail without them being on my finger. Okay, so I'm back. I have opened all the 4 sets that I'm going to use for this Mix Mani. I have Mojave Turquoise, Amazing Rage, most definitely, and I think this one, yeah, Brave and Bold for the darker green. So I'm going to actually just do one hand for you to show you what it looks like placing 1 layer versus placing 2 layers, and what my process is for applying them to the color streak nail. A lot of times I'll go through and I'll kind of place my mani before I get it set. So this Brave and Beautiful, or Brave and Bold, is going to be my like accent piece, really. Amazing Rage is going to go on 2 nails, and I think I'm going to do thumb and probably my pinky, Amazing Rage, and it's going to be covered with Most Definitely. So I will keep that there. But basically I'm just placing the nails where I want them. And then my Mojave Turquoise is going to go on the index and ring finger. And sometimes I'll place it and I'll look at it and I'll be like, maybe I don't like that. I'm going to give this one a shot. I saw something similar to Pinterest, but I added the Mojave Turquoise just to break it up a little bit. So it just depends on which finger I feel like doing. It doesn't really matter. They're all the same. Sometimes the wider ones are a little more difficult to apply, but we'll start with the thumb. So I peel my strip and I take the nail and I place the nail at the edge of the strip and I flatten it on the edge, okay? So then I take the strip from the side and I basically smooth it across the middle. Now, when I do that, I have usually one edge that's looking good and one edge that may not be looking so good. And then I have the bottom edge and the top edge free, so I can kind of go through and remove any wrinkles or bubbled up spots that I find. But I'm really just kind of manipulating the strip around the nail. To me, this would be the absolute easiest way to do it, because I just don't think I could manage it with the nail on my finger. So again, I'm taking the top, gonna kind of peel away so that I don't have any of these wrinkles. And again, you can't be afraid of the strip. That's one of the biggest things I found. But sometimes the more I baby the strip, the worse it looks. So I'm just working slowly to kind of peel all of these bubbles away. And now that I have that done, I'm gonna kind of go around the edges to seal it off. I'm gonna peel it straight off that side. I'm gonna peel it straight under the bottom. And the side that was not on the edge, I'm gonna kind of tuck it under for now. And this one I'm actually going to let sit for a little while. I don't immediately file them. I do let them sit until I finish the whole manicure. This one definitely is not perfect, but I don't always worry about it being perfect when I'm putting another layer on top. So Most Definitely is about to go on top of this one. And so I'm going to set that one down for now, but I'll let it sit. And then I'll go back and put Most Definitely on in a minute. I'm going to move on to my Mojave Turquoise on my next nail. Again, I take my nail and I start at the edge of the strip, placing it to make sure I've got the whole nail covered. And some overlap is fine to start, and some you can see, maybe you can see it. There's just a little bit of the nail showing, but I do the same process. I kind of start toward the middle, folding it over, And then I take those loose bottoms and top and just use that to smooth out any bumps or folds in the nail. Alright, so that one went on pretty easy. Thumb's usually the hardest just because it's the biggest. And so again, I'll file those loose edges here shortly, and you'll be able to see the finished nail. Yeah, I don't have the greatest setup here, so sorry about that, guys. The other thing that I recommend is not doing them while you're wearing fake nails. It's a little hard to manipulate and to hold them. I'm going to skip this Mojave since you just saw me place that one. I'm going to go ahead and place the green, the Brave and Bold. But again, I start at the edge of the strip onto the nail, and I smooth it down, and then I just take it and pull it across. Mostly pulls across pretty well. And then again, those loose edges that are still loose at the top, those are the ones that I can kind of pull up and have everything smooth back out. So there's really not a lot of bubbles when I'm done, and my edges are always covered nicely because I can stretch that strip to go across the nail and just continue to kind of smooth out. And like I said, some of these areas you'll see, like you see some of the nail here, and that's okay, because a lot of times what I find is that I need to trim that nail down a little more for it to fit my fingernail properly. But then I just pull those edges off, and I'll let that sit for 5 to 10 minutes before I go to file. Alright, we're going to go back to our Most Definitely and place Most Definitely on top of that thumb on that Amazing Grage. Process is the same when you're doing your second layer. I start again at the side, at the edge. This one I didn't go all the way to the edge, not quite. And then again, I'm just folding it, just playing it down toward the middle more. And then I'm smoothing out one side, one bottom, or the bottom. Smoothing it down the sides. And then taking that top, tucking in the sides, and then pulling that top down. But really, I'm just kind of smoothing it around the nail. Even if it falls across the back of the nail, that's okay, because again, I'm going to file this shortly. But that is basically my process of putting Color Street on an artificial nail while the artificial nail is not on my finger. So now I'm going to file the Mojave Turquoise so you can see it. I use glass files. I just like those the best, rather than like a regular fingernail file, an emery board or whatever. But again, I'm literally going around the edges of the nail, each side, just a couple quick strokes, bottom, and then I'll look at the back and I'll peel any excess that came off. Now these tips always have that little extra pokey thing on the end of the tip, and so I'll kind of file the top down just a little bit more to get rid of that tip. And it just really helps seal my Color Street onto the nail. And then I clean off the excess, and that nail is ready to wear. So I would just continue that process all the way through until all of my nails were done. Again, I'm going to just file a couple of quick strips all the way around the nail. Sorry if you can't see this properly, but you'll at least get the gist of what process I use to create my artificial Color Street manis. So again, looking around the back. And with this method, you saw that I didn't really try to save any of the nail or any of the nail strip. These nails are kind of long to do that. I'm not overly concerned with the waste just because I get to reuse these. You know, it's not like I needed that other half of the nail strip or, you know, sorry, anything like that. So that's really what it comes down to, is that I am able to reuse these over and over again. Again, they'll last anywhere from 4 to 6 days, sometimes longer, but again, I'm tough on nails. You know, I have 2 kids, they play sports, they want me to go out and throw and catch with them, and, you know, I work with babies for a job, so, you know, I'm rough on hands, I wash my hands a lot, and so it still, you know, works out for me that, you know, I have pretty nails, but I'm not, you know, breaking the bank with my Color Street because I'm having to throw it away. I can have my sets and I can reuse them as many times as I want to. Now, I'll be honest, there's some sets that I've created, I'm like, man, that's really not pretty. I probably will never wear that again, and I'm not as careful when I remove those. I'll remove those and I'll literally throw them in the trash. So it's really no different than had I, you know, just taken the Color Street off with nail polish remover. So if anybody has any questions, you know, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to finish this mani up, and eventually when I put it on, I will probably post it somewhere out in our Facebook group. So thanks for watching.